Welcome back to Capital G Podcast, your weekly news roundup for all the biggest gaming news of the previous week. And this week, we got some pretty big news with your hosts, Jay
and Jared.
This week, we're talking about Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal.
The new Nintendo Partner Direct that just came out.
BioShock 4 is having some issues that we'll be talking about.
We're talking about Metroid Prime 4 and Kiwi Talkz' final post about it.
And Skyblivion had a nice trailer that released and some new updated information about how their development is going. But shall we get started with the Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal? We talked about a little bit of this last week, all the rumors leading up to it, and it happened.
It did happen.
It happened as the rumors would say.
Yeah, the rumors turned out to be pretty true. Like, almost all of them turned out to be true. So, the big thing to get out of the way is that they did confirm that the game is launching October 10th. October 10th, which is only a couple months away now. So, that'll be really exciting. I'm excited. They also confirmed that there will be the open beta times, which is August 9th through 10th, which is this weekend, and then August 14th through the 17th, being next weekend. If you were lucky enough to snag an early access code, you could play it 2 days early for this first weekend, from August 7th to 8th. I managed to get a code, well, kinda. I got an email that was just like, hey, congratulations, you got entered into the early access thing. But it said it was because I tried to sign up for Battlefield Labs. So they're like, well, here's this little thing. Here's early access. So that was pretty cool.
I heard a lot of people, I saw an article that was like a lot more people are, they're heading those out.
I think they really are, yeah, because I think they saw how many people were excited, and I think they want to try and get as many people in as possible.
Yeah, I guess might as well open it up if you're gonna have an open beta anyways.
Right.
But they better watch out. EA better watch out because there's also another open beta happening at that same time.
Uh-oh. I honestly don't know.
Dragon Drive for the Switch 2 is also happening August 9th and 10th.
Is it really? Oh, no.
So that's competing. I don't know if Battlefield's going to be able to put up the numbers against that heat.
Battlefield might be cooked. Well, anyway. They started the event with their multiplayer reveal trailer, which looked like a mix of gameplay with cinematics, which I thought was really cool. And it was blasting Limp Bizkit's break stuff almost the whole time, and there's just like a bunch of buildings collapsing, helicopters being destroyed. At one point, they showed off a sledgehammer and breaking into the bottom of like a floor to drop down, and just hearing that while blasting break stuff by Limp Bizkit was amazing. It is so good. The hype is back for these types of first-person shooters. But after that, they had like various employees from the studios, from like all the various studios that were working on Battlefield 6, up on stage to talk about all the different aspects of the game and what part they played in the development. So during that, they showed off 2 maps, Siege of Cairo and Empire State, which looks like it takes place in New York. They also confirmed that there will be 9 maps at launch. Portal mode is back. I thought that was really cool. I did not expect them to bring back Portal, but players will be able to create their own maps and modes. And I was watching a video from someone kind of explain Portal for Battlefield 6, and someone was even saying that you'll be able to like change like enemy AI behavior, which I thought that sounded really, really cool.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok about it, and it was looking less like custom level creator and more like Unreal Engine world creator. You know, it's like they want people to make custom modes, not just like custom levels.
I can't remember,
like a Fortnite kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't remember the like engine that it's using, but it's a mod engine that a lot of people are familiar with, which I thought was really cool. It's like a full blown like map editor and mode editor is in this, which previously it was just kind of like in Battlefield 2042. The Portal mode was you got to pick between like Battlefield maps from various Battlefield games, spanning all the way to like Battlefield 1942 to even like Battlefield Bad Company 2, and then you could also pick like certain Battlefield loadouts. So like you could have like the Battlefield 3 loadouts versus the Battlefield 4 loadouts or something like that. But now this is just like totally make your own thing, which is really cool. They talked briefly about campaign, but they didn't say much on it, and they kind of didn't really say anything that we already didn't know. But they even like said that during the event. They were just like, hey, this is about multiplayer, so we're going to get out of here. But yeah, campaign, it's happening, which is, it's cool to see. They teased Battle Royale, I noticed, and the quote-unquote storm kind of looked exactly how it did in Battlefield 5's Battle Royale, Firestorm. So I'm kind of hoping this is like they're almost trying to remake Firestorm, but this is going to be like the free to play version of it, which people were begging for before. So I don't know. I hope it's cool. I like Firestorm. I think it's a cool concept for a storm. But then they talked about, so they have a new combat system that they call the kinesthetic combat system, and this is how like they want matches to flow. But some of the examples they showed of their combat system is being able to mount weapons on like walls and around corners. They have a contextual lean. We all love that contextual lean in FPSs. This I found interesting though. They have a combat roll when you drop from a high place. And they said it's
like
used
Mirror's Edge.
like exactly like Mirror's Edge, and they said it was kind of like to help break your fall a little bit, so you don't take so much fall damage, and then it also helps you like dodge bullets and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. But this one is probably the biggest one for me, where you could drag teammates out of danger when reviving them, and I think that is so cool. And when I was watching all
cool.
of like this beta footage, almost everyone was using it. Like it seems like this is going to be like one of the most useful new movement abilities that's in the game, is being able to like grab your teammate and yank them around a corner so you can revive them. But yeah, that was like the main kind of like I guess stage presence type thing, where they had like, you know, everyone was talking about it. That was the beginning of the event, and then it just went on to a bunch of journalists and creators live streaming the game and just playing it for all to see. Just giving this beta, it seemed like it was just a beta build of the game, but God, it looked so good. They showed off 4 game modes: Conquest, Breakthrough, Squad Deathmatch, and Domination. And Conquest is like, you know, that classic Battlefield large scale mode. Breakthrough is kinda new, but I think that was in Battlefield 1. I know for sure it was in Battlefield 5, but it's like 2 flags, and there's an attacking team trying to capture those 2 flags, and then if they capture those flags, it opens up another section of the map. So it's kind of like a big tug of war type thing, which is really cool. And then Squad Deathmatch and Domination are supposed to be much smaller scale, more like a not to mention another game that's competing with, but it seemed like more like a Call of Duty type thing. No Rush gameplay was shown though. I was pretty bummed. I was actually pretty bummed about No Rush, because they did confirm it. It's happening, but I just would have liked to see it. We got some more information on the classes, which I thought was really cool. The Assault class can now carry 2 weapons and swap weapons faster, but I think the swap weapons faster is only if the Assault class is using its signature weapon, which we talked about this last week, but all of the classes have their own signature weapons. Engineer is, you know, tank buster, shoots down helicopters and stuff, but it also like repairs vehicles. That's kind of how Engineer usually goes. But it's Engineer's passive ability is they take reduced damage from explosives. I don't believe that was a thing in previous Battlefield titles, but I thought that was pretty cool. This is probably the biggest change, but support now heals and provides ammo, which healing used to be mainly an Assault class thing. And then in games like Battlefield 1, they had Medic as its own class, but support is just like all around, gives you everything you need, which is really cool. And then Recon is all about surveillance, which has always been what Recon is about, but it's still really cool to see. Especially, I don't know, a lot of people a lot of Battlefield veterans, because I was watching a lot of, you know, people who have been around the Battlefield space play this. They said the game feels very similar to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, which I thought was really cool. I thought that was good to hear, because I think that is peak Battlefield in my opinion. Yeah, all classes with their signature weapons gain passive abilities with those weapons. So we'll break that down a little bit. But all classes can use whatever weapons they choose, as long as they're in that open weapon playlist, which they did confirm is these playlists are going to be in the beta and the full game at launch. It's not like a test or anything. They're going to separate the playlist into an open weapon playlist, where any class can use any weapon, and a closed weapon playlist where classes can only use weapons that belong to their class, or like they can only use their signature weapons. Yeah, I thought I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I don't know if it'll split the player base that too heavily.
I wonder if they're going to do it forever, if they're going to test out during the beta or whatever, which one people like the most, and then take feedback, and then actual at launch only have one.
Well, that's exactly what I was getting at. Is they confirmed in an interview that the beta is not a test on which mode they're keeping. Like they're at launch. The 2 playlists will be there with open.
That does seem weird. That seems just like a unnecessary split in your fan base.
Yeah, I wonder what'll happen. I wonder if maybe inevitably, I don't want to say inevitably, but eventually they will break it down to one based on how many people are playing a certain mode. I don't know for sure though, but it seems like they're pretty confident that they can do both. So we'll see. Uh, Here's also a cool little feature I saw, but you can grab onto the back of vehicles and hang onto them rather than sitting in them if they're full. So if a vehicle's got like a bunch of dudes in it, like completely full, you can grab onto the back of one, which I don't know. I thought that was cool. It was fun seeing people in the beta like monkeying around in the back of like tanks and trucks and stuff. It was good.
Yeah, it looked funny because like these huge vehicles are like hauling, bouncing up and down, and then the people are just holding on the back. No problem.
Yeah, they're like not struggling at all. But hey, it's a video game. Got to take some liberties.
It'll be fun.
I thought this was cool too. They talked about their destruction system, which they call tactical destruction, which a lot of people were kind of making it sound like Battlefield Bad Company 2's destruction. But just like physically wise, or like game engine physics wise, it looked amazing. Like this is definitely the best destruction Battlefield has ever had. And what sold it for me was like a clip on Twitter that was circulating, or on X that was circulating like crazy, of this someone shot down a helicopter and it flew right over their head and actually exploded when it hit the ground. Which like in previous Battlefield titles, when you shot a helicopter out of the ground, it would fall to the ground and then just sit there and then eventually explode. But this one, like, it crashes, it causes rubble, there's a huge explosion when it hits the ground. It looked really, really, really cool. I was pretty blown away.
Yeah, that looked really good. I like that clip. That was a crazy clip.
Yeah, it's so good. But Vince Zampella, who is the CEO of Respawn, but he's also one of the head guys working on this new Battlefield. He said that he told it was in an interview with PC Games N. He said that not everything on the maps will be destructible, and the reason he gives for it is if you were to like totally level a map, it would just become unfun and unplayable, because then you just have like open sight lines everywhere. But the destruction still seemed like, it was bountiful. There was like so much you could destroy.
Yeah, it seemed like everything you would want to destroy was destroyable. Like some of the floors weren't destroyable because then like the building wouldn't physically make sense, but everything else seemed like all the walls you could blow through. It looked good enough.
Right. Yeah, and it still looked extremely satisfying. Like I think I was just so blown away by a lot of the just like the particle effects and rubble that would fall, because it's just like unlike any Battlefield we've seen. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
We do have a quote from Vince Zampella talking about the destruction. He said, quote, "So if you're able to control that destruction, it can still be different because you might blow up this building one time, this building another, or nothing at all. That's where the flexibility comes in. But even when they are destroyed, the map is still full. We guarantee you that the map is still fun to play. So it's about making a map and then making multiple versions of that map that are all equally balanced and fun to play." So it seems like they kind of got it figured out.
Where's the Levolution though?
Bring it back. I actually really hope for like future maps that they add that they have like some Levolution maybe. I don't know.
Levolution was kind of stupid because like you'd always knock down like the same building, then it just basically becomes the same level but like different because the building was knocked over.
Yeah, I can't lie. In Battlefield 4 with Siege of Shanghai, like knocking down the building was really cool, but then I don't know. I felt like it just wasn't as fun to play when the skyscraper was knocked down. Or like there was another map I think it was called Flood Zone maybe. I could be totally wrong, but that map was also in Battlefield 4. But once you like destroyed this dam, it would just flood the entire bottom of the map, and you either had to swim or had to get a boat, and it just made the map so unfun in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure they're looking at it like we need to make it so it's more dynamic than that.
Yeah.
But the PC specs have been confirmed because people are downloading these betas now.
Yes, and this is for the beta and for launch.
The minimum specs looks like you're going to want Ryzen 5 2600 or an Intel Core i5 8400, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a Radeon RX 5600, or an NVIDIA RTX 2060 as your minimum. So my computer is definitely not going to be able to run this. And the game is minimum 55 gigabytes. Mm-hmm. And it recommends that you have Ryzen 7 3700X or a Intel Core i7 10700 or and then a Radeon RX 700 XT or RTX 3060 Ti, so that's not too bad. 3060 Ti.
Yeah, I was expecting way higher. Like I was expecting even my card to not or to be barely scratching it, because I have a 3060, or not 3060, a 4060, which is, it's a newer card, but it's okay.
But it also makes sense. These games are console heavy, so.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense. And that all looked good, I thought. I only watched the bit. I didn't watch too many of the people streaming it, but I watched the reveal, and all of it seemed very cool.
Yeah, it looked really good. I was watching streams all day, and I was watching videos the next, what everyone's first impressions were, and everything seems extremely positive, which has me so excited as a big Battlefield fan. Like, I've been playing these games since I was a kid. I remember my first Battlefield game was Bad Company 2 on the Xbox 360, and then after that I played Battlefield 1, and then Battlefield 1943, which was a little like spin-off console-only arcade, Xbox arcade game. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But ever since I got into the series, I've been all over it. I love the series even more than Call of Duty, if I'm being honest.
I played Bad Company 2 split screen on a PlayStation 3 one day.
You could do split screen on that game?
I think it was Bad Company 2 I played split screen, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do split screen.
1v1 against my friend, middle school friend. And then
that doesn't sound right. I don't know if you can do that.
I think we're playing, or I was just watching him play Battlefield Bad Company 2.
That might be it. I'm looking it up. Let's see what this. I found a Reddit post. I was gonna take a million years to load. I'm pretty sure that it didn't have split screen though. No. Yep.
On Bad Company 2.
I'm seeing a post from 2010 on Game FAQs. There's no offline split screen mode.
Well, then never mind. I guess I just watched them, and the split screen must have been World at War, Call of Duty.
Yeah, probably.
And then I played Battlefield 3 on PC. And, frankly, an awful experience trying to find lobbies for that. But anyways, this game looks cool. The only thing I found kind of disappointing is the New York map, which I was hyped for. It looked kind of small, and there wasn't any vehicles.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's up with that.
I was wondering if the gameplay that we were watching together was from either Squad Deathmatch or Domination, because I think they were playing some smaller scale stuff on that map, but they might have been playing Conquest. But they did show vehicles as well through the trailer.
In the trailer, they showed like a helicopter crashing down and stuff. So that, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they just didn't have vehicles ready for that map. Like they wanted that one to be a mainly like infantry focused map.
Yeah, maybe there's a bigger version or something.
Yeah, because like they wouldn't show helicopters multiple times in the multiplayer trailer on that map if they weren't coming eventually.
Yes, that would be weird. Do you have any final closing thoughts? Because we've talked about Battlefield for almost 20 minutes.
That's because I'm excited. Those are my closing thoughts. I'm so excited. Me as a Battlefield fan feel like Battlefield is so back, and I'm so ready to sink time into a first-person shooter like Battlefield again, especially if people are saying it's like Battlefield 3 and 4, which are the Battlefield games I played the most, mainly 4. So I'm extremely excited. I can't wait. I need my hands on it now. I'll be playing the beta this weekend, and I'll probably report back next episode. So.
Yeah, so that means we got to talk about it for a third week in a row.
Oh, baby. Get ready.
Yeah, we're going to have hands-on impressions of Drive, what's it called? I can't remember the name.
Drag and Drive?
Drag X Drive? Drag and Drive?
I think they call it Drag and Drive, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be playing that. Because I would like to play the Battlefield because it's free on the beta, but I don't think my computer would launch, so...
Might as well try it. But yeah, let us know on this Drag and Drive. I would like to know.
Yeah, so we'll have more reporting on that next week. But now we're getting into real gamer news, stuff actually people care about. Something that definitely wasn't disappointing to all and extremely boring. We have there was a Nintendo Direct, as rumored, was actually shown off. Because everyone and their grandma who's a leaker was like, there's a Nintendo Direct coming, which people say every single day. And then the one time it lines up, they're like, oh, I was actually proven right.
I guess speaking of that, I saw this guy on YouTube. It was so funny where he was like, "There is a Nintendo Direct happening next week, and here's how I know why." And it's like, what? Okay, this is a daily thing. What's going on here?
People do leak information, and I think things do change behind the scenes, and also people are just crying wolf. But anyways, so a Nintendo Direct did happen, but it wasn't a real one. It was a partner Direct. No one actually cares because there's no cool Nintendo games. But we're going to recap that very quickly. We're going to go this very quickly, okay, Jared? Quickly, we're going to talk about this. Quickly.
There are a lot of games, though, but we're going to speed through it.
We're going to talk about quickly. First one, Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. It's coming out 2026. is there anything you'd like to say about this one? Because I don't really have anything to say.
I think it's just launching on Switch 2. I thought it looked pretty cool, though. I actually might give it a shot. I don't know if I need to play the first two, though, because I definitely have not. But I thought it was cool because the trailer showed a character riding a Rathalos, which was kind of neat. And then the trailer ends with Magna Malo, who is the flagship monster from Monster Hunter Rise, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, yeah.
It seems like this was one of their big reveals. Because I think this did well on the original Switch, the other ones.
Yeah, it seemed like the other two did pretty well. And people have been... I remember watching a Monster Hunter live stream recently, and the chat was just like, when is Stories 3 happening? So as a Monster Hunter fan, makes me want to give it a go.
Yeah, there's a demo. You can play the demo for the ones on the regular Switch one, so I'd recommend you do that.
Might have to.
Next was another Katamari game. Once Upon a Katamari was revealed, a new one. It's more Katamari. It looks like there's player customization and online stuff. It looked cool.
Yeah, it looked neat. It's coming out October 24th of this year. And
that's my birthday.
It is your birthday. I noticed... So they had like a little graphic that was just like, we'll show when the game is coming out on Switch, Switch 2, or both. And this one, I think, was the only game in the Direct that is only coming out on Switch. Like, just Switch and not a Switch 2 version.
Maybe they'll work on that in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
And then, speaking of big, epic games that everyone cares about, Just Dance 26. Yeah. Or should I say 2026 edition. An Ubisoft original.
Yeah. Launching October 14th. Also just for Nintendo Switch? Okay, I lied, I guess. This one we have wrote down also just for Nintendo Switch, but I would imagine there'd be a Switch 2 version.
I'm sure it works on both. Yep, it's more of this game. More songs, same thing. Next game, Dragon Ball. What is this one? Dragon Ball Sparking Exclamation Point Zero.
Yes, which is a game...
This is releasing November 2014. Is this one the fighting ones or which
November
one is
14th of this year.
That's what I meant, yes.
Yeah, it's like a cinematic arena fighter. This game, I believe, is already a year old. So they're just porting it to Switch and Switch 2.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I've seen this game before, but don't they have multiple games like this and they all kind of look the exact same?
I think a lot of them look similar.
It's a series of Dragon Ball Fighters, right?
Yeah, there's Dragon Ball Fighters, which I think is quite different from Sparking Zero, because I think Sparking Zero is more of like, this is more, I guess, story focused within the anime, because you fight in like iconic Dragon Ball like fights, and then you can also like like fight through like an alternate history, I guess, and like have like an alternate reality compared to what actually happens in the anime. So I think it's a bit different than just like the Fighters series.
Well, if you're into it, you're into it. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball, so but it looks good.
I heard the game was hot with Dragon Ball fans. So if you're a Dragon Ball fan, I'm sure you're hype.
I like the Donkey videos that he does about him. So
mm-hmm.
Next we got Plants vs Zombies Replanted. This was rumored. I saw a rumor for this before it was actually revealed.
Yeah, I also did.
Yeah, it's real. It's launching October 23rd. It's going to be the Switch and Switch 2. It's an HD remaster of the original game, and there's local co-op and PvP. And if you pre-order the game, there's a retro P shooter skin, which I saw some controversy about on Twitter because it looks so bad.
Oh no.
It's like this is hard to explain. So pixel art, like every pixel is like the same size.
Yeah.
I think this one had different size pixels, so they call that mixel. So it's like a faux pas in pixel art where it's like the pixels aren't all the same size.
Oh.
But I think it's also based off of the DS sprite, and the DS sprite did look that bad, so I don't know. I can't remember.
I see.
But yeah, that looked good. If you want to play Plants vs Zombies,
I hope it's hype. I know it's something small, but I kind of want PopCap back on the map. PopCap being the people who make Plants vs Zombies. I want them back on the map. They were huge for a while, and I kind of want them to make a comeback.
It's a classic you can't go wrong with.
Right.
Next up, speaking of a classic you can't go wrong with, it's EA Sports FC 26, everyone's favorite. It's football.
Yeah.
And it's coming to the Switch.
I think it'll be kind of cool to have like a handheld portable soccer game coming to Switch. I think that's pretty nice. Switch and Switch 2 launching September 26th. So I thought it seems cool.
That will please a lot of people, but it's
yeah.
We're not sports people, but that is, that's for the masses right there. A game that I'm more interested in, Pac-Man World 2 Repack.
Now this one's
Pac-Man
for the masses.
World 2 remade for the Switch 2, coming out September 26, 2025. These Pac-Man games, I've never played any of these Pac-Man World games. I think they're originally on the GameCube, but they look so good and they have so much just like good vibes that I need to play them because I love a 3D platformer.
Yeah, I've never
and this
played
one
them.
might motivate me to actually play the first one.
I don't even know if I've seen gameplay of these ones, but I did know they were 3D platformers. But
Yeah.
yeah, could be hype. Did you
Yep.
say the release
They
date
look
on this
cool.
one?
I maybe September 26th, 2025. I think I
Yep.
did.
Switch 1 and Switch
Next
2.
we got Final
Yeah,
Fantasy Tactics. Now, if I think I have not my wires crossed, I think this is the one that Linus of Linus Tech Tips always glazes as his favorite game. I can't remember
don't
though.
know.
There's some Final Fantasy game, and I think this is the one he really likes.
Because
this
is
is
this a
Final Fantasy-
port or is this a new game coming out?
This is a port of an old game.
Okay.
Is it like Final Fantasy Tactics is an old game? I don't know if the Even Lice Chronicles is new or not. Let me look that up. But I think this is just an old game.
Sure.
Yes, this is just a remake of an old game.
I see. Okay. Yeah, coming out September 30th of this year on Switch and Switch 2. They did say it was fully voice acted, has new difficulty options, and you can pre-order it now.
The graphics kind of look like dog water. Well, they're not that bad. I don't know. Sometimes they do like a depth of field thing on the pixel art that looks kind of weird, but I guess it could look worse. It's not too bad. I'm just not really into these tactical kind of games. I tried playing Pokemon Conquest, shout out Pokemon Conquest, which is like the Pokemon version of the same genre on the DS. It's a little too slow paced for me.
The only like tactics / XCOM game I've enjoyed is Tactical Breach Wizards, which I think is a Steam exclusive.
XCOM is like,
exclusive.
I don't know. I feel like XCOM's like a whole different breed. Like is it?
The
only XCOM like game I've played is the Mario one, Mario Plus Rabbids. I feel like these are even slower paced. These ones.
Oh, are they? I thought the
These Japanese
tactics
ones
games
are-
were pretty similar to XCOM.
It's a similar kind of. I don't know. I can't really speak on it. I guess because I haven't played. I played what's the one for the Quest?
Triangle Strategy, right? Isn't it
Triangle Strategy. It's so slow paced. I bought this game for the Quest when I first got my headset. It's slow. It's so slow. But I want to play it because people love the story, but just like takes forever to get going.
Fair enough.
But next up, we got Persona 3 Reload. The remake of Persona 3 is coming October 23rd to the Switch 2. It's Persona 3 and it's the remake on Switch 2, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did play a bit of this game when I had Game Pass because everyone glazes Persona, and that's just like I've never really gotten into that series, and it was fun from what I played. It's weird though; they like shoot themselves in the head, like summon their personas.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
It's quite graphic when it first happens in game because I don't know anything about Persona, so I wasn't anticipating that. But it seems cool, and maybe I'd play it that it's on Switch too because handheld, you know.
Right.
Next up, we got Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
Mm-hmm. They showed like a new cinematic trailer for it. I don't know if it really said a whole lot. I think people who played the first one maybe might know. But it looked extremely pretty, and the combat looked very cool.
I've always been interested in these Warriors games, but the ones on the Switch all kind of ran at like dog water frame rate.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know, but I imagine this will run better because they have way more power.
Yeah, definitely.
People were hyping up at the end of the trailer. There's like a weird teaser to like a robot guy because Link isn't in this one, but then it seems like they're alluding to there being a robot Link at the end, made out of like the Zonai materials. That could be cool.
Yeah, that could be sick. I do actually remember seeing that. Yeah, I thought it freaked me out at first. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But it did look really cool.
Next up, we got more sports. Madden 26 coming to Switch 2 August 14th.
Which is very soon. Very, very soon. Which that'll be cool. Again, I think it's cool to have like a portable sports game because when you're like, I don't know, when you're on your way to somewhere, you can just like quick play a match. I guess I don't know how long those matches play, but it's still cool for the sports fans out there.
It's cool for those people who own like 2 games and they're like, well, I might as well get the Switch 2 because then I can play my second game. We can play Donkey Kong, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for someone. I don't know. These games, they just have such a bad reputation for being cash grabs that
I just
even
wish
though
they
we have some
didn't.
friends that like really like them, you know, it's like the way they describe it make them sound fun.
Yeah.
And I can watch a football game every once in a while and be entertained, so it does seem kind of interesting, especially like the campaign stuff.
Yeah.
But the cash grabbiness of it all, I don't know.
I think that's my thing too, because it does, like, the games sound a lot of fun, but the microtransactions just like kind of push me away from it because it seems like you almost need to spend money in order to get somewhere. I don't know though.
Yeah, I don't even know how bad it is really because I've never played any of them.
We'll see if Carl can convince me to get the game because I might. It might take a bit convincing, but I might cave 1 year and give it a go.
But they're
just
not
to see what the
cross-platform,
hype's about. I think it is cross-platform only between consoles, but not PC.
Oh, okay. Next up, we got the worst looking game I've ever seen in my entire life. Sorry to the developers who are clearly indies. Chilling by the Fire. Now, no one. Okay, I'm just gonna spoil this part partner direct. No one really was a fan of this partner direct. Not a lot was said because everyone was so hyped for like Prime 4.
The big thing is Prime 4. Yeah, people need that Prime 4 info. Going rabid for it.
People use this as like the image on Twitter when they're like, Nintendo has fallen off. This is so bad. Everything's awful. I hate my life. Because this game is just making a fire. You're just building a fire. I don't know what any of the other gameplay is. And you sit around like a campfire and you can turn your camera on because the Switch 2 now supports a camera, and it's just a floating picture of your head around the camera. Around the fire.
It's not even like a small picture either. It's a massive, like 8 foot tall circle of your face. It looks so like a ridiculous.
Weird, like Vision Pro kind of thing. Like your head is just like floating.
Yeah.
But it's on a big circle. It looks so stupid. I don't know what the point of this game is.
I think it's just supposed to be like, one of those hangout games where you just like, you're building a fire.
I assume there's more to it. There's got to be more to it. Like you can throw a ball back and forth or something. But
like from a game perspective, it sounds really like especially if you're like an action fan or a platformer fan. It's like you think of a game like this and you're like, why would anyone want to spend their time in it? But I could see it if you're like, I only crave social interaction right now. Like I don't want to play a video game. I just want to talk to my friends.
This game came out on the same day as the announcement.
It did, yeah. It's out now. It is out now. Only on Switch 2.
Supports HDR.
By the way.
Ooh, it has HD Rumble.
That's interesting.
HD Rumble brings the feel of Campfire to your hands.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, this game did get the, this was like the poster child for how disappointing the Direct was, which is kind of unfortunate
game
in my
modes.
opinion.
Normal. Grow your fire and try to reach campfire level 10. Survival. Your supply of firewood is limited. Plan how to pass the flame along from one log to the next and prevent the fire from going out.
Whoa.
And playground. Use the 4 fire pits and play online to compete with friends, whether racing to build the biggest fire, interfering with each other, or working together. It all depends on the rules you decide.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, they describe it as campfires, humanity's oldest social network.
There you go. Exactly. I think it's
So this
just mainly
like,
supposed to be like a social experience.
Yeah, this is a pretty unserious game. But would you have to guess how much it costs?
What?
Would you have to guess the price of the game?
$5.
You would be willing to spend $5 to hang around a fire?
Sure. What's web fishing? I guess web fishing has a lot more content actually.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of stuff to do in web fishing.
Yeah, $5. Sure, $5.
It's $15.
$15.
You can get a lot of game for $15.
That's kind of steep, actually.
Okay, moving on. Speaking of a lot of game for $15, here's a free game, Apex Legends. Boom, Apex Legends. That's a pretty big one.
Coming to Switch 2, launching today, the day we're recording, but this podcast will go out on Thursday, 2 days from now. But yeah, it's out now with a new season that launched with it as well. So I wonder how well it runs on the Switch 2. But
yeah, that'll be interesting. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, we got, how do you pronounce this one?
Hella.
You just pronounce Hella?
Just Hella. Hela. Hella.
It's the rat game. The graphics look really bad, and you're like a little rat running around.
Yeah, you're trying to like cure this witch's disease. I think it's like your like owner witch or whatever. But it's a 3D platformer, and your little mouse is wearing a backpack, and he's got a little rope in it where he can grab stuff, pull stuff, and swing around. And yeah, the part that I was just like, oh, that's interesting, is that it's 4-player co-op online. So you can play with 3 other people online, which I don't know, maybe it could be another social type game, but there's a narrative with it too, so I don't know.
It's made by My Games. I don't know who these people are.
Also never heard of them.
It looks weird.
Yeah.
But it also looks kind of fun. The graphics look really bad. It looks really low budget. Okay, never mind.
Like,
it says
this might be kind of niche, but it looks like a WarioWare mini game for graphics wise.
The graphics are really weird. Like it looks like Unreal Engine, except they didn't apply any lighting.
Yeah.
Okay, these people have made games in the past. It's made by not by the people who I said. Their name is just like on the thing. I don't know it's made by Wind Up, and it's published by Knight's Peak. At least on Steam, it is.
Okay.
And yeah, it seems it's coming to every platform. I don't know. There is a little charm to it.
Yeah. No, of course.
It does look a little funny.
It just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like my kind of thing. But it's someone else's.
Next,
Star Wars
Speaking
Outlaws.
of someone else's thing. Star Wars Outlaws. People either like this game or they hate this game.
Yeah, very mixed opinions on this one. That's for sure.
But now you can love it or list it on Star Wars Outlaws on the Switch 2 coming September 4th. The trailer kind of looked dog water, right?
It looked pretty rough. It looked pretty rough. Like the frame rates were just like god awful, and they did like a zoom out shot, like key art type shot where it's just like the main character and this whole vast wide open desert looking area, and it was just like extremely flat textures, and there was some pop in.
Oh yeah, I'm watching that.
I looked rough.
The texture's just like the grass texture's just like repeating every meter.
Yeah.
And then the pop in of all the bushes, each bush is just instantly popping out. There's like no
Yes.
natural fading or anything. It's really bad.
Yeah, it has me worried. It's like how can people praise Cyberpunk on the Switch, but then Star Wars Outlaws is gonna come out potentially looking as it did in the trailer.
Yeah, it's all about the development time.
Yeah.
Next,
Launching September 4th, by the way, only on Switch 2. I don't know if you said that,
Chronos. I think I did. The New Dawn. It's like a horror game. It's
but...
kind of
Yeah,
giving
it was like
Dead
horror,
Space,
like big Dead Space vibes for sure.
but it's more steampunky.
Yeah,
Looks interesting.
and it
That
was
is
less
coming
like
out-
it was less science stuff and more like here's this like, or I guess this is kind of science related, but it seemed as weird as it is to say less grounded than Dead Space because there was like weird like rifts and anomalies opening up. But there was also like your
It's like
character
myth-
has like a sanity
yeah.
where it can slowly be your sanity can like slowly deteriorate over time.
What's
It
the
seemed
big
interesting.
Kraken guy? What am I trying to say? You know that universe with like the big Kraken?
Oh,
big-
you're thinking of Cthulhu,
Yeah, it's giving
the
that kind
Dreamers, the Great Dreamers. You think so? You got Lovecraftian vibes?
of vibe. Lovecraftian, that's what I'm trying to say, but maybe a little more sci-fi than Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
That is coming out September 5th. And the next thing that was shown was Yakuza.
Which this might be my highlight. They had it was Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the first game, and then Kiwami 2, which is the remake of the second game. But both of those are launching November 13th of this year, coming to Switch 2. And I kind of thought it was funny when they showed it off because they talked about Yakuza Kiwami 2 for like 3/4 of them talking about both games, and then the first one, Kiwami, got it didn't get much time at all. Like they were talking about Kiwami 2, and then they got to the like almost to the end of it, like they were done talking about it, and then they said, "Oh, and by the way, you'll be able to play Yakuza Kiwami, the story that started it all as well." And it's like, well, I don't know why you didn't lead with that, but I'm assuming Yakuza Kiwami 2 is maybe just more, I don't know, more iconic. That's my guess as to why they showed it off. Like it's more memorable. I have no idea.
That one's coming November 13th. And then they did a little lightning round thing where it was Goodnight Universe, NBA Bounce, Hello Kitty. There's some DLC for Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Romancing Saga 2, Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, and Borderlands 4 were shown off.
Mm-hmm.
And then into an actual game that I'm interested in, The Adventures of Elliot, which is one of these, it's a Square Enix, right? One of these Square
Yep.
Enix 2D, HD 2D games.
Mm-hmm.
Except if being a normal, either a tactical game or turn-based RPG, it is an action RPG, kind of giving Legend of Zelda vibes.
Huge Legend of Zelda vibes, honestly, especially because you play as Elliot, but then you get a fairy companion. As soon as the fairy was announced, I'm like, what is this? Legend of Zelda 2?
Yeah, it's definitely giving Zelda, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool. I like this art. I've always liked this art style, but I've never been able to really get into any of the games because, JRPG. But this looks much more up my alley, and there's a demo out right away for the Switch 2, so I need to play that because I've heard good things.
Yeah, it definitely. These games aren't really my thing either, but it definitely caught my interest. Yeah, I'm excited to give it a go. I liked that it was real time combat. Like I was not expecting that. I was expecting like to see your classic JRPG turn-based combat, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that it's real time. So I think that is kind of my main selling point because I don't know. I should really just try a JRPG because I feel like they get kind of unnecessary flack maybe because like I feel like a lot of people who like Pokemon don't like other JRPGs, even though it's like it's pretty close to the same thing. It's like the same kind of turn-based combat, and I like Pokemon.
Pokemon is a JRPG, but like I don't know, big JRPGs are super long and drawn out with like super complicated combat systems and a story that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
And
I still should try it
80-hour-long
though because
campaign.
I do like the combat in Pokemon games. So I think I should try it. Give it a go.
You could beat some more Pokemon games first.
Or I could play Clair Obscur Expedition 33 because I still haven't done that yet.
Well, that game is not a JRPG and looks way better than
it's JRPG combat. Absolutely, it is.
That's an FRPG.
I guess. Yeah.
Then what was next after that?
They showed off Octopath Traveler 0, another Square Enix game back to back, which I believe is also just a port, right? Like
nope.
This game. No, this is a whole new game.
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that'll be coming out December 4th, 2025 on Switch and Switch 2, and that's more. This one's more of your traditional JRPG. And did I say it's already a Square? It is a Square Enix game. I think I did. But yeah, it's another Square Enix JRPG. Another entry into the Octopath Traveler series.
And I think people are worried. I'm trying to remember I always see the drama on Twitter. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. I think people are worried about it because it's based off of the Octopath Traveler mobile game. So people are worried that's going to have the mobile game mechanics in it or something. I can't remember exactly, but...
Oh, I have no idea.
It has some connection to a mobile game, and people are worried about it. But anyways, that was the whole Nintendo partner direct.
That was a full
summary,
recap.
It was kind of mid. There wasn't anything that amazing. My highlight's probably the Elliot game that looked kind of cool, but the rest of them is just like, these could have been in between big Nintendo bangers like, Metroid and Kirby and stuff.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
You have any other final thoughts about it? I forced you to watch it, so.
Yeah, I don't really have any other thoughts on it other than, I don't know. I watched it and it was just kind of, most of it was just, okay, a lot of these games are either just ports. The standout to me was the Yakuza games, and then Star Wars Outlaws running like straight up doo-doo. I thought it was funny. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, and Monster Hunter Stories 3. I'm interested in trying that. I want to try that.
It was all stuff that was pretty expected, though. There wasn't anything that was like, whoa!
Yeah, for sure.
But there's going to be another direct, August 7th, which is the day this podcast comes out, I believe. This episode will be out. And it'll be an Indie World Direct. Still not a regular direct. It'll be a 15-minute Indie World Direct, which I'm a little more excited for because maybe there'll be something hype.
For sure. Yeah, that one could be a lot more interesting. We'll see, though. Still probably no Prime 4. I mean, obviously not because it's focusing on other like indie developers. But, we'll get Prime 4 when we get Prime 4. That's where I'm at.
I guess so. We'll talk about that eventually. Up next, we got BioShock 4. Who's reporting on this?
This is reported on from PC Gamer, is where we got our information from.
And let's see, BioShock
but I think
4,
the original report, I should say the original report broke from Bloomberg.
Oh yes, this is according to Bloomberg. Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw this on Twitter all of a sudden and I sent it to you. Like, oh god, we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
BioShock 4, which I didn't even know was being developed because
I didn't know either.
I'm not that deep into those games. They look amazing. I play the first one a bit and I get too scared.
Scary.
Like, I'm gonna be frank. That game is too scary.
They're supposed to scare you,
Infinite.
But they don't scare you with like jump scares. They scare you with the lack of resources around you. No, that's the problem. It makes my heart rate like high, and I'm like, just like on edge the whole time. And it's like, I want to play a cute game. BioShock, those are games I need to play. Those are core essential games. They are. They really are games you need to play. And if they're gonna have a fourth one coming out, I'm even further behind. Yeah, you are. But it doesn't seem like it'll come out for a while. Yes, because this is getting developed by Cloud Chamber, and the thing that Bloomberg is reporting on is that it has failed an internal review with 2K executives, and I guess and also Take-Two.
Take-Two
wasn't too pleased either.
I see. It was confirmed that it's been in development since 2019. Kelly Gilmore, head of Cloud Chamber, has been moved to a publishing position. What am I supposed to say with this next? Is this a person's name? Yeah, Hogarth de la Plante. De la Plante? Maybe just plain. This guy sounds like an Expedition 33 character. He's the creative director. Yeah, he has also been moved to a publishing position. And the quote from 2K Games is that we are fully committed to ensuring to deliver a BioShock game that exceeds the lofty expectations for our fans. And employees at Cloud Chamber are anxious about layoffs because of this failed internal review. And the narrative seems to be a big reason why 2K wasn't too happy with the current state of the game, and that there's also a BioShock remake that was canceled, I guess. Yeah, because they were doing a remake of the first game, but
Yeah, that has been canned alongside
A new
with
remake,
this,
you mean? Because there already was a BioShock remake.
well, that's just a remaster. This was supposed to be like a full remake.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
The distinction is always, tricky one.
yeah, because they have a.
But yeah, this seems...
Yeah, I think they're the first two remastered. But yeah,
Yes,
anyway.
I have the remasters on Steam. I bought a
Mhm.
bundle that I've never beat, as stated earlier.
Sure.
Yeah. This seems bad.
It seems, yeah, very scary, especially for a game that's as big as the BioShock series really is.
But this is like, the Valve issue, where they make these great games everyone loves, and then you have these huge, lofty expectations that the next one has to be even better, or at least be on par, and that's hard.
It is hard. And Cloud Chamber
But
is
it's in
technically,
development.
it's a new studio, kind of.
Yes.
It's still made up of the people who made BioShock, but it's still new.
Yes, it's a new team.
Hmm.
But it's been in development since 2019, so that isn't like, that's a lot of money that they've invested in this thing, and I'm sure they don't want it to go badly.
Yeah, that's already 6
But
years.
maybe the gameplay's good, because it seems like it's mostly a narrative thing that they need to fix on.
Yeah, which, that's like BioShock's whole thing. Like, obviously the gunplay in BioShock games are really good. Like...
Well, they each
for
have
lack
like
of-
unique mechanics. Like the first and second one, they have like those cool, things you put in your body and get the elemental
Yeah, they got them in all of
abilities and
them,
stuff.
even in Infinite. You have like powers and stuff.
And then in Infinite, you have like the grappling hook that you fly around, and they have all these like, the beautiful settings and stuff. So maybe that's all figured out. Just like the story is.
Yeah, because and the BioShock games have always kind of been, like, I know really with the first one, it's very anti-capitalist. So I wonder if they're trying to, like, really go with that same, all the BioShock games have kind of been that very critical of economic systems and stuff. So I wonder if they're trying to capture a story that's similar, but like not like they're exactly repeating the same things. I have no idea. It's pure speculation.
Let's see, the last BioShock game, Infinite, came out in 2013, and then they started development on this one in 2019.
Yeesh.
And 2019 was 6
Oh my
years ago.
gosh.
Like once
Oh
you
my
start approaching
gosh.
5+ years of game development and you're not publishing, it's either going to be a magnum opus or it's going to be trash.
Yeah, and people
Or
were
it's
pretty
both with
mixed
Cyberpunk.
on. Yeah, people were pretty mixed on Infinite. I remember when that came out.
What? I only heard praise for Infinite.
Yeah, you hear praise for it now for sure. But yeah, I remember on launch, reviews were definitely mixed, but I can't remember why.
I'm sure because it was just a departure from the previous settings.
That's what I was gonna say, is that it was maybe too different. But everyone said that BioShock Infinite's gunplay was the best in the entire series.
Well, best of luck again. It seems like in every episode I have to wish some development team luck. So best of luck to them.
Yeah. Well, the industry's
keep your jobs.
scary.
Hopefully
It's
this
scary.
game comes out. Well,
Yeah.
it should be scary. They've been working on this game for 6 years.
Yeah.
Really
long
it's like,
time.
imagine, it's so long, they have to, it's got to be good.
It's got, yeah.
That's the problem. I think, obviously it's the BioShock franchise, but I think in the future going forward, because game development is so expensive, we hopefully will see these AAA studios just making smaller games, so the stakes are less astronomically high every time they make a mistake.
Yeah.
So they're no longer making billion-dollar mistakes. They're just, they screwed up a couple years of development.
But
Whatever.
even still, that's
Moving
wasted
on.
money. That's wasted money.
It's wasted money, but it's also not like we were wasting a whole, to fire the whole team.
It's true. Yeah.
Moving on, we got Kiwi Talkz. We got a follow up because they were like, I have Metroid Prime news. It's being internally delayed, but I can't talk about it until the next Nintendo Direct. And if they haven't talked about it, then I will talk about it. So the Nintendo Direct happened, so he's talking about it.
He had a big post, a long post.
Yes, here it is. If you're watching a YouTube video, it's on screen. It is horrifically long.
I saw. So we kind of took the information from what he said, and also a kind of a summary from a Reddit post that talked about it. And in the Reddit post and even in the comments, people were saying that it was pretty bloated. There's just a lot of stuff that didn't really need to be in there. Like, he gave his opinions on Donkey Kong Bonanza and used that as like reasoning for his Metroid Prime 4 points, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird.
I think the Bonanza thing's interesting because he states that he believes that Donkey Kong Bonanza and Prime 4 switch places in release-wise and development focus-wise because Donkey Kong Bonanza was in a much more finished state while Metroid Prime 4 was falling behind. So when Donkey Kong Bonanza was supposed to come out and be like the big game for the Switch 2, they switched out Donkey Kong Bonanza. And now Metroid Prime 4 is having more issues still, which is holding them back, I guess, from saying a release date.
Yeah, I think. Well, he called Donkey Kong Bonanza unpolished, which I feel like he's kind of alone in that position, and that was kind of his because again, it's all speculation on his part. But he believes that Donkey Kong Bonanza being unpolished is the reason.
Well, like it's
For
evidence
pushing back
that
Prime
they
4.
rushed it.
Yeah, yeah, to get Bonanza out in this window with the launch window, and then to get have some
Which
more
is a
time
crazy
to cook
thing
on
to
Prime
say.
4.
I go on about it, but we're running behind on schedule. Donkey Kong Bonanza is definitely polished. It's super polished. There are points where the frame rate is like absolute dog water, but I don't know. Nintendo people, they don't really complain about that. I've been watching a lot of reviews and people talking about it, and people really aren't complaining that much, and it's kind of something you're used to ever since the Switch, because the low power of the handheld, it just makes so frame rate is not always consistent.
I kind of want to get into the big stuff that he said right before we continue
Yep.
on. But he said, because a lot of people were really on his case about release date because it seemed like he really knew something that was going on. But he said he has no idea if it got delayed. He truly has
Yeah,
no
basically,
idea.
He was just yapping a lot, and he was just basically like, I don't know, the whole time.
Yeah, but that even gets squashed because here's the big thing, and then we can keep talking about what he said. But Nintendo seems very committed to a 2025 release date, and that's because Metroid Prime 4 demo will be playable at Fan Expo Canada, and this came from a press release that they put out recently. And in that same press release, they state that the game, quote, will be available later in 2025. So Nintendo doesn't really seem to, think that
Also,
a delay is happening.
Nintendo said 2025. They reconfirmed 2025 in a shareholder press whatever thing. They're talking about like how much money they're making.
Mm-hmm.
They reconfirmed to the shareholders that it's coming out in 2025. But frankly, I don't believe that at all. I think Nintendo
Really?
could delay it. I just think they're saying 2025 because it's not the time to say that the game is delayed in a press holder meeting or in a Canadian Fan Expo. Like, that's not the place to be like, oh, actually, it's delayed.
Mm-hmm.
They have
That's
to wait
true.
till like the right moment to make a tweet about it or
That's
post
true.
on the Nintendo Today app, because I think they're ready to delay it whenever they want. I think they're really trying not to delay it, but I think whatever. There's a high chance I believe it gets delayed just based off vibes, because they would have said something by now.
A high chance. So you really think it will be delayed? Like you think Nintendo's kind of like uncertain?
Yes, the way they've been behaving recently with like the lack of directs, and then the way they've been posting about news. There was that new Splatoon game that was just like revealed in a tweet and then posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
just had a recent trailer come out for the new Kirby Switch 2 DLC.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't put it in like a big video. They just released the trailer. And it showed like a bunch
that
of
is pretty
information, which
interesting for
normally would
Kirby.
be in a direct. Like that,
Yeah.
they have content that normally would be in a direct that they're just like releasing. And that's because I think the stuff that's in their direct that would normally be like, the first video and the last video, like their big headliners,
Mm-hmm.
Prime 4 and Kirby Air Ride, my guess is that they're both getting delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to talk about it yet, or they're scrambling behind the scenes, and that's why their whole communication style has been so all over the place and very weird.
Yeah.
That's just based off vibes only.
Vibes only.
no
Speculation only.
insider
Jay speculation
information.
only.
Just pure vibes, just a pure gut check. Because this is not the Nintendo Switch era communication style. This is just like them. I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah. It seems like I don't know. It seems like vibes are different at Nintendo though. Ever since release of Switch 2 or like announcement of Switch 2.
I think it's because all these games are struggling and that they're panicking.
Yeah, well, this is the first time that they're playing with the big boys. Like they got Cyberpunk on their console now. Like they're talking about graphics and frame rates. They've never done that before.
Yeah, it is different. The cost of games is definitely higher, especially with this. The Prime 4 looks so good with 120 FPS mode.
Yeah, it does look really good.
Is there anything else you want to say that Kiwi Talkz was talking about? Like, I don't know. It's a lot
I
of
don't
nothing.
know.
He says
You can read his tweet if you want. On audio platforms, there should be a link in the description. But I don't know. It is very bloated, and it's all absolutely speculative on his part. And I think, a lot of people, when I was doing research for this, a lot of people in the Metroid community were like, stop listening to Kiwi Talkz. Kiwi Talkz is not end all be all for Metroid. He's just a huge Metroid fan. And he sometimes talks in absolutes and as if things are fact, but then will go off and say that, oh, this was actually just speculation, not fact. So he seems to confuse a lot of people. But he does go like he ends his post by saying that he is sorry for not communicating properly on his coverage of Metroid Prime 4. So it seems like he does feel bad for misleading people. But yeah, I think the important thing to note is that he's not the voice of Metroid Prime 4. He's just a huge Metroid Prime guy. That's all.
He's definitely has some insider information, but it seems like his insider information does not go far and may not be very up to date or,
I don't know
full.
how insider info he has though, because even he himself states like, that he just interviews like old, like former Retro developers, Retro being the studio that's developing Prime 4, but I don't think he has anything actually internal. I don't know, but that's just my take.
I feel like he knows some information, but yeah, he definitely does not know a lot, and it seems like this game is definitely hitting development snags because there's no shot we weren't supposed to have a date yet.
Yeah, I wonder how he knows. He kept referring them to these like development snags as anomalies, and in one paragraph he says anomaly like I don't know, like 10 times. But he said that all of the previous Metroid Prime games had experienced the same anomaly, but like to varying like to different degrees. But he won't go into detail on what it is. And someone even asked him like, if this came out into the public, or would it be a big deal, or will this ever come out? And he was like, if this came out, it would be a huge deal. This should never come out into the public. It would 100% be a problem. But the anomalies aren't that big of a deal, so it's just things that happen. It's like, well, what is it?
Yeah, who knows? The game's definitely hitting snags, and if we're going to see it, it's going to be late, like November, December, if not delayed to 2026.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that, because who even knows what's going on there? Ending on a good, fun note, we got Sky Oblivion got a huge development update. They released a beautiful new video on YouTube, and they gave some more information about how their development's going, which I have to get into the details of that.
Yeah, it's about like a 15-minute little dev diary giving an update on how development is going. And for those not familiar, Sky Oblivion is a full remake of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, but recreated entirely in Skyrim instead. So it's going to be running on the Skyrim engine, but it's going to be like bar for bar Oblivion, which is really cool. And they went on to kind of reiterate that even though this Oblivion remaster had just come out, recently, their whole thing is, we are not a remaster like that one, which they even praised the remaster. They think it's really good. They were even all given free keys from Xbox, which is really cool. But they say that their version of Oblivion, the Sky Oblivion, is a remake, like fully remade, rather than just being, a remaster with, some, better, a lot better looking graphics and stuff. So that's pretty cool that they're trying to, it's very similar, but they're trying to differentiate themselves, which I think they're doing a good job of. So the devs, they are adding in a cut city from the original Oblivion, which was Such, which they said was just like a little tent, I think. I think I'm getting that information right, but it was just a little tent where the city was supposed to be, and now they're adding in this city, and it's supposed to be absolutely huge, and it's going to be inhabited by bandits, which is really cool. They're also remaking the town of Anvil, and they're making it into like a horseshoe shape. And from what I read, I haven't played much Oblivion, but they said there's a harbor nearby, and it kind of connects more into that harbor. So I'm sure some hardcore Oblivion fans will be really excited about that.
Yeah, I played a lot of Oblivion. I'm not good with place names though, but
yeah,
all the work that they've done for this just looks so good.
It looks incredible. They're working on new models for weapons, and then special attacks for unique weapons as well, which it seems like adding new attacks to weapons seems very difficult from a development standpoint, but that's really cool that they're taking the going into the extra effort to do that kind of stuff. And then this I thought was the coolest part, but they're adding in a second biome into the Oblivion Gate dungeons. So like when you go into an Oblivion Gate in the original Oblivion or even the remaster, it's just kind of like orange lava, like brown orange rocks everywhere. It's just lava. You're running around inside a volcano basically. But they're adding in another biome that's like acid everywhere. It's very green and gray. And that gives kind of like a swampy vibe instead, which is really cool. Like it's kind of nice to be running around Oblivion and not have to see orange all over your screen. Not that the Oblivion gates were bad; they're still very cool. But it's just nice to have some variety in how Oblivion is going to look.
They are pretty boring and repetitive.
Yeah, so I think that's cool that they're really they're throwing stuff in there that's gonna really make it feel like a new experience, especially even compared to the remaster that just came out. So
yeah, frankly, this looks cool. I don't know. This looks more like a different what's the best way for me to describe this? The Oblivion remake from what was the team who made that? Starts with a V. The Oblivion remake or remaster, whatever they call it, looked good, but it is very faithful. It is just like a 1-to-1. It's the exact same. It has all the same like weird anomalies with it, all the weird bugs.
Virtuous. But, that's who developed the
Virtuous,
remaster.
Which I think is what fans want. They want all the bugs because that's like what gives it the charm. But Sky Oblivion looks like the polished next gen sort of real remake of it, and it's cool that it's all made by fans and it's been in development for like 10 years. It'll have like modding support because Skyrim already has crazy modding support.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a crazy project. Have been following this for a few years, and I always just assumed it was never going to happen because you always see these cool fan projects, and then something happens and people get burnt out and projects fall apart. But this is going to happen. It's going to be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the scale is just crazy. Like, they are touching every aspect.
Literally, literally every aspect. And adding things. Like, they're not even just improving on things that were in Oblivion before. They are actively adding things that were never in Oblivion to begin with, which is so cool.
It looks so good. Mm-hmm. Very hyped for this. It's, what was the other project that was like this? Fallout London, where they made, like, basically just a team made their own Fallout game. Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy that Microsoft and Bethesda are allowing these projects to happen because they easily shut them down.
Oh, absolutely.
They're well within their rights to shut them down.
But they're encouraging it, which is awesome.
Yeah. It's nice that they're not shutting it down and that they're even reaching out to the developers and being like, this is cool. We still respect your stuff,
Yeah.
It is a little sad that the remaster came out like the same year that Sky Oblivion after 10 years was like about to be released, but
yeah,
that's life, I guess.
And I know a lot of people were really wanting to check up on the Sky Oblivion team, which, by the way, they did put out a call for volunteers if there's anyone out there that wants to help on the project. But
yeah, they always need help.
Yeah. But yeah, I know a lot of people were checking up on them, and the devs seemed not too worried, which is good. And
I think they have nothing to worry about. It's a whole different product.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the hardcore fans are absolutely going to be obsessed with this. And I wonder if maybe, in terms of quality, it'll maybe even overshadow the remaster. Not to put down the other like Virtuous who worked on this remaster, because it seemed like they were all huge fans of Oblivion as well. Watching the dev diaries for Virtuous, they all seem like they've been playing this game since launch, and this is like a huge project for them. But it's just cool to see the smaller team put so much time and effort into creating new things for a game that's so old.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a coin with two sides of it. One side is faithful remake with beautiful and extreme graphics that they're like benchmark kind of graphics that push your system, and the other one is expanding and faithfully recreating a game from scratch without necessarily a focus on the most newest graphics, but more heart and soul put into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited. It should be cool.
Should be.
And also, it'll be free. So there you go.
Yeah. But I think you will probably have to own Skyrim, I would imagine.
Yes, you'll probably have to own Skyrim. You'll definitely have to own Skyrim.
Yeah.
And I wonder how big that download's going to be.
Yeah, it's a good point. I also wonder if it'll come to GOG, the GOG
I'm guessing
service.
They'll have to do something with GOG, because using like Nexus mods to download it, it'll take you forever with those default download speeds.
Yeah, it will.
But yeah, that was this week's news. There wasn't anything too big.
News. Other than Battlefield, that was huge. Battlefield was pretty huge.
It looked cool, but there wasn't anything. There wasn't anything mind blowing. It was like, yeah, it's kind of everything we already knew about. You just get to see it, which was nice. They showed it off.
Hey, seeing it, it's huge.
But we didn't learn anything new.
Especially after coming off the heels of 2042, it's huge. It's huge.
It definitely looks good. It looks good.
Mhm.
I am interested for the first time in many years for Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe next week, what are we going to be talking about next week? Next week, there's going to be Indie World Direct. There'll be Battlefield 5 impressions. There'll be Drag and Drive impressions.
Battlefield 6 impressions.
Yes.
I already
Battlefield 6
have it.
impressions. That's what I meant. So yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, I'm
And
hyped.
until next week, we'll see you then. The episode may come out on Friday instead of Thursday. We're still working on that. We'll see.
Yeah, we might have an updated schedule, but we'll see.
Until next time. Bye-bye.
Adios!